You've all heard the saying, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and lots of country music songs have been written about that, but today I want to tell you about the hell and fury that was greater than anyone scorned, man or woman. It came in the form of a storm named Harvey, and it rained down on our Gulf Coast. And I want to tell you how the strength and tenacity of folks there has helped them to begin restoring the region faster than anyone could ever imagine. Hi, I'm Ray Benson of Asleep at the Wheel. You know, from Port Aransas to Port Arthur and beyond, Harvey took dozens of lives and caused tens of billions of dollars in damage. But it wasn't enough to keep the Gulf Coast down. And less than a year later, most of the communities are rebuilding, re-energized, and ready to welcome tourists. It's an unprecedented recovery effort from a storm no one could have possibly been prepared for.
To be honest with you, for 47 years, we have been saying to each other on this island, next year is the year. And 2017 was the year.
The rain just kept coming down, and I remember thinking, is it ever going to stop? I mean, it was just for a solid week, just horrible, horrible.
For 5 days, the week was under siege, and there was literally nothing you could do.
The rain was just unceasing. It just poured and poured and poured.
It was what I would call pure and utter destruction.
Like a bomb went off and blew this place apart totally.
When the dark clouds cleared and the summer sun finally came out, the Texas Gulf Coast from Corpus Christi to Beaumont was in tatters. What wasn't destroyed was underwater. People were heartbroken and shocked, left wondering what was in store in the days, weeks, and months ahead.
When you see your city devastated, I mean devastated, where 75 to 85% of your homes are destroyed or damaged, where all of your businesses are damaged and down and out of business, where your condos and your hotels are severely damaged. All of our infrastructure, our police, our fire department, our EMS, our court system, all of those buildings were destroyed. Our harbor was totally destroyed, 100%.
Some businesses that really died, like our restaurant industry. Our hotel industry probably was okay at first because you had so many contractors and people coming in for the recovery. But then after that, I don't know that that has sustained itself.
I got a phone call from my employees and said that there was no longer a business.
You know, we've been through Rita and Ike. We've had a small hurricane, Humberto, in between those two, but we found out Harvey was worse than all of them. It just cannot be overstated how serious of a storm this was and the impacts that it had.
They were faced with the challenge of their lives. For many, their life's work reduced to millions of tons of debris, damages in the billions of dollars. But with help from the state of Texas, the federal government, and donations of money, manpower, and materials from across the country, the people of the upper Gulf Coast mustered up every ounce of Texas tenacity they had and began to rebuild. And what emerged was community cooperation that was unprecedented. Of course, they had no choice, did they? Because this hellacious storm didn't just knock out the lights for a few hours. It wreaked havoc on the entire tourism infrastructure, devastating hotels, restaurants, retail, and the rest. Their number one industry had been destroyed.
Just the community just really pulling together, that aspect of it was heartwarming after watching the heartbreaking part. So it was a very emotional time.
We are sea people. We love the beauty of the sea. That's why we live here. We love it. But we also understand the power that it has in it. And it's not our first rodeo. And we're coming back, and we're coming back strong.
In the community, you know, on a day-to-day basis, everybody's got their pet peeves over this or their gripes over that. Let me tell you something, during those 10 days altogether, you didn't hear anything. Everybody came together. People were they were sacrificing everything they had for each other. And seriously, to see that was incredible.
Hurricane Harvey stole Kevin Fry and his wife Angie's clothing business and all their merchandise. But just 6 months later, thanks to some helping hands, they had a grand reopening.
It's brought back the faith in humanity. When you're cutting sheetrock and there's a guy shows up and a couple, they're cutting it out with you, and they're from another state, and they just show up. You don't even know who. They're just beside you, and they say, take a break, and they just start cutting it out. Those kind of things. So that, the kind of things we've learned, that to be more aware of other people's problems.
From city to city, you will find an optimism that has led to a new Gulf Coast, one that promises to be more tourist-friendly and spectacular than ever before.
Our businesses are back and providing the goods and services to the citizens just as they were beforehand. We're ready to go. We're ready for all comers.
Beaches are clean, the restaurants are open, some of the hotels are open. Bring your dollars and support the businesses.
Compared to the day after the storm, we've made a lot of progress in terms of our cleanup. I think it's astounding to see 500 businesses that are open currently out of 1,300. And as time goes on, I think it's going to present a lot of opportunity for new businesses.
Summer will be here before we know it. And summer tourists and their dollars is the only thing that will really help to turn these once devastated communities around. For some, it's a race against time to get rebuilt, repainted, and get the red carpet rolled out. But in keeping with the way we do things here in Texas, confidence is high.
I'm excited to say that we will start reopening April 5th. We'll be as reopened as we'll be in June or July this summer, which will be most of the property, most of the rooms. So it's exciting. This pool area is about to get the rest of the facelift, so we're on our way back.
Go anywhere in this community, stop anyone on the street, and you will find a tremendous attitude. They know they can do it. This city will be better than it was, and quickly.
Call it courage, resilience, or just Texas grit and fortitude. But the Texas coast is coming back. But there's one final battle to fight in the wake of Harvey. The battle against the perception that this place is down and out. What they need now is visitors and advertising dollars to get the word out that the Gulf Coast has recovered.
I think the funding for Texas tourism that was cut in the last session, probably not the best time to do that, because certainly now we need the funds to share the story with folks that we're back in action. I think some of the legislation around the insurance process could probably use some attention as well.
We need marketing. We need other people to come to have an appreciation for it and to understand the uniqueness of the area and how varied the opportunities are for travel and tourism in Southeast Texas.
Now, are we 100% back? No, but we have great places to stay. The beach is beautiful. Our restaurants are opening one by one, week by week. And for us to be successful, we need support, and the kind of support we need has to be in the way of tourism.
What's going to help us right now is people coming in and eating in our restaurants, staying in our hotels, because let's just face it, tourism is the lifeblood of our community.
Our fishing and birding are still fine. There's still things to do. There's still things to see. I mean, we may have had some damage to this historical homes, to the Civic Center, but Port Arthur's open for business, and we need the tourists to come.
The businesses are open, the restaurants are open, I got 649 hotel rooms. Come see us, we're open for business.
You had advertising dollars for all these years that sent people here. We just went through a hurricane. We need people here. That's how you recover. We need people to know that we're good here. We're rebuilt. We need visitors.
Now you've seen how far they've come, heard their stories and their pleas. Let's pull together as Texans to bring to a close the nightmare that was Harvey. Let our legislature know that we need those marketing dollars back that were cut just before the storm. And with an even shorter summer due to so many schools opening earlier, now it's more important than ever. Help us get the word out that our Texas Gulf Coast is once again welcoming tourists back from the abyss.